Hello friends, Neil here, EMF Safety Zone channel. With this video, I'm going to show you what all of us who have a digital cordless phone in our house are doing to ourselves in regards to radio frequency radiation exposure. Now this is cordless phones in our home, in our offices. I have right here an HF35C gigahertz solutions HF analyzer. It's a very, very sensitive meter. And I'm just going to show you the readings around my house. Since I do EMF remediation semi-professionally, my house is completely clean. Well, relatively clean. But as you can see, this meter is very sensitive. It's measuring 0.3, 0.4 microwatts per square meter. Pointing it toward the office here. Moving around, pointing it toward the living room. Let me go back into the office here. You can see readings aren't changing. Might be picking up on a neighbor's wireless to some degree. But as you can see here, I have my computers plugged in. I have a modem down there, an AT&T modem. I have the wireless disabled. It's plugged into the computers through Ethernet cords. And again, here's my office. Very little radio frequency radiation in here. And there's the cordless phone right there that I'll turn on in a few minutes. It's not plugged in, as you can see. I just really wanted to show you what's going on in this house. This is a very clean environment, relatively speaking. Alright, and here is an acoustometer, one of my favorite radio frequency meters, extremely sensitive. Turning the volume up here. You can hear a faint tick on it from a neighbor's wireless. I don't know if you can hear that on the video. It's a slight dit 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 dit, which is the digital signature of a wireless modem, probably coming from a neighbor. But again, as you can see here, barely any reading. Picking up a little disturbance there at about 0.02 to 0.03 microwatts per square meter. 0.02 to 0.03 volts per meter. And again, I'm just making the point that this environment is relatively clean. Most people's houses you walk into, the meter would be reading extremely high readings. Alright, so let's pick up the HF35C again, and I'm going to turn the volume up. And now we seem to have some disturbance going on. I wonder what's going on here. Let me turn this volume down. It's a bit disturbing. Alright, so we're moving around here. And the meter's already up to 135 microwatts per square meter when it's pointing toward my office there. And there's almost 200 microwatts per square meter. And I move it away toward the kitchen. This is a unidirectional meter, so it'll only pick up on things when it's pointing almost directly at them. And you can see the readings drop substantially. Alright, hope you're not getting dizzy with this video here. As you can see here, the readings start picking up. I'm going to walk toward my office. Well, see, the meter is already going over its capacity, so I need to shift it to a higher capacity. So I just shifted it from 199.9 microwatts per square meter, so now its capacity is 2,000 microwatts per square meter. So as I approach my office here, as you can see, it's bouncing between 150 to almost 200 microwatts per square meter. And look at that. That's 1,400 microwatts per square meter, and let's see what the meter's pointing toward. Lo and behold, I plugged the cordless phone in here. And as I get closer to it, now when you see the reading on the meter hit 1, it means the meter was blown past its capacity. Alright, so as I'm sitting at my desk here, see the meter's at 1? It's literally goes over 2,000 microwatts per square. That's over 2,000 microwatts per square meter. So most of us are sitting at our desk, at our computers, and we have a cordless phone right next to us. Alright, I shifted over to my trusty acoustometer, another radio frequency detector. And as you can see, on the peak volts per meter, it's measuring 0.70, which is also 1,299 microwatts per square meter. On the right-hand side, you see an average. Well, as we get closer to the cordless phone here, the average goes up to 100. And again, I'm just standing here next to the cordless phone, just like anybody would be who had a cordless phone on their desk or next to their computer where they sit. And just a few feet away from the cordless phone here, it's almost topping the meter out at almost 6 volts per meter, which is almost 100,000 microwatts per square meter, and the average is up at 500. This is incredibly dangerous. Now I'm going to take you on a little ride here through the house, and I'm walking away from the office. And as you can see, as I showed you earlier, the house was very clean, with almost no radio frequency in it, and still, because of that cordless phone, you can still see how these measurements are showing here. So this means if you have a child in another room, upstairs in your house, the radio frequency is still penetrating. Look at that. We still have readings of 0.30 to 0.50 volts per meter, which is 239 to 663 microwatts per square meter. The Bioinitiative report suggests that 3 to 6 microwatts per square meter is precautionary levels for children and sensitive individuals. So this whole house right now is saturated with radio frequency radiation from the the cordless phone, all the way in my office there. And I'm just going to walk further away into the kitchen here. So I'm at the farthest end of my house with walls, and you can still see the acoustometer, the radio frequency meter, still measuring 0.07 volts per meter and about 13 microwatts per square meter in terms of peak signal strength, and it's picking up the radio frequency from the cordless phone in the other room. Alright, does this brilliant setup here look like anything that's familiar to any of you? What I refer to as a brilliant setup is cordless phone on the nightstand in the bedroom. I use a lantern as a desk lamp to cut down on EMF exposure, but just for the sake of this video, I put a cordless phone on my nightstand right next to my bed. It looks very innocent and very harmless, and of course, as we all know, radio frequency radiation is invisible. However, radio frequency radiation is not invisible to a radio frequency meter. And I want to show you, turning the volume up. This is what this cordless phone is giving off in terms of radio frequency exposure right inside the bedroom here. So here would be the exposure levels, sleeping right on the bed, and the body would be being penetrated with a peak signal strength of almost 0.70 volts per meter, which is close to 1200 to 2500 microwatts per square meter. The entire body being saturated by the radio frequency coming from the cordless phone. Now, how many of us still have a cordless phone in our bedroom? Or other places where our bodies are being overly exposed to it by too close of proximity. Look at that. Almost topping out the meter at 6 volts per meter. $95,000 microwatts per square meter. And remember, Bioinitiative report precautionary levels are 3 to 6 microwatts per square meter. 3 to 6. That's all the way down at the bottom of this scale. Well, I'm sure by now I've made my point with this homemade video. I've done the best I can to show you the dangers of the radio frequency exposure coming from the cordless phone. But just to drive the point home a little further, you can see the radio frequency detector on the right. You can see the unplugged cordless phone on the left. And just keep your eye on the meter when I plug it in here. Keep your eye on the meter as I plug the phone in, that is. Phone turns on. Meter's measuring past its capacity at 6 volts per meter, which is over 95,000 microwatts per square meter. And I unplug it. And there you have it. So here I am in my bedroom, which is the opposite wall as the office with the cordless phone. And you can see that if I was ignorant of the dangers of radio frequency radiation, right here where I sleep, I would be having my brain penetrated by the radio frequency radiation coming through the wall right here from the office all night long. That's enough to cause disturbances in melatonin levels and a host of other biological effects. And just so you can see what I'm talking about very clearly, I'm going to start walking back toward the office and watch the readings. See them starting to pick up. The left-hand side's already showing a red LED, which is going into the danger zone. Getting closer to the office and closer to the cordless phone. And already the danger levels are almost all the way up to the top on the left-hand side, which is the peak signal strength. And on the right-hand side, the average is one is still being exposed to, and that's showing what one's being exposed to on an average. And as you can see, the readings go higher and higher the closer we get to the phone. And I know I've already said this twice so far, but just consider the reality of most of us have a cordless phone sitting somewhat in a position like this on our desk at our workstation, and that radio frequency is penetrating through our head, through our body, disturbing the heart rhythms, disturbing the psychophysiological aspects of our entire body and brain. That's just a cordless phone. Now think about if I had a cordless phone there and a wireless internet modem, and a wireless baby monitor, and a smart meter, and various other devices around the home. Alright, so I've done my very best to let you know the dangers of having a cordless phone in your home. What's the fix? What's the suggestion? It's right next to it. Get a landline and plug it in. As soon as this video is done, I unplug this cordless phone and I return it to my friend who I borrowed it from. I don't have a cordless phone in my house. Thank you, friends.